What's going on, hockey fans? Launching an all-new asset in the Dan K Show universe. The DKU, as we call it. No, not Dan K University, although you can learn a lot from the two gentlemen on today's show, but the Dan K universe. And we are on our way to the moon with today's launch of the NCDC's newest hit show, NCDC This Week, presented by the Dan K Show. The Dank Show, as some may know it around the country, but we know the NCDC as your one-stop shop for all things great Tier 2 tuition-free hockey. And there's no one I could talk to or with or about Tier 2 tuition-free NCDC hockey with better. Man, that was a sentence and a half. I don't know what happened there. No commas, no breaks. All gas. The Dan K Show, my right-hand man, my consigliere, Montfrere from another mayor, Lucas Jones, getting ready to leave on a plane for Italy. How we doing?
Well, I like to think that intro was an homage to some of my questions that I asked on the Summer Sessions podcast, which, go beyond context and really get into the realm of just a Daniel Jones stumbling down the field, I think is kind of where it goes. But also, we're back to video. We're back to the real world here, quote unquote, Dan. Summer is now over. You're doing the introductions. You're introing me in. Over the Summer Sessions, it was the other way around. And we're talking NCDC, and we will be talking NCDC every week through the season.
Yeah, we'll be talking NCDC every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for you folks in the new NCDC Mountain Division. This video will drop, so you're seeing this video now. You're going to ask yourself, gentlemen, where can I catch NCDC this week while Lucas is in Italy? The man, the myth, the legend that puts our video content together. Well, guess what? Dan K is going to make it simple for you. You're going to head to Instagram. You're going to go follow NCDC JR Hockey. That's NCDC JR Hockey. And in those Tuesday night windows, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, you'll catch Dan K live on Instagram right there. Instagram Live, breaking down all you need to know, the latest and greatest from around the NCDC. And Lucas, the latest and greatest for you happened in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. These guys right now, those Knights, they are shining bright, I'll tell you that much. And Lucas, you took in some Knights hockey getting ready for this new NCDC season.
Yeah, it was great. They invited me out to come out to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Got to see the rink, their NCDC camp, but they also took me around to see some of the new facilities. They are going with the academy this year. They bought an old hotel, and they're completely renovating it. They stripped it down to the studs. They're rebuilding it for their players. It was awesome. You're going to see a ton of that and a quick video with some interview content coming up now.
Obviously, our goal here at camp has always been bring in some of the better younger players from around the country. Our goal, at least within our program, and obviously I know our league is trying to do the same, but within our program, we want to have the best young competitive talent that we can find. Players who are going to draw interest from USPHL programs, draw interest from Division I programs, players who can be within this league for more than just 1 year, and players who want to be here and who want to develop in the right atmosphere and right situation. We provide things that you're not going to be able to find everywhere, from our staff to our building to the amenities that we include within our building and within our rink. We want to have players here who are going to be high-end, young, talented prospects who want to grow, who are hungry to compete. And one thing that we've seen at camp so far is through the first 2 days, our games have been extremely competitive. Players finishing hits, players winning puck battles, players going to the net, things that you just don't typically see at camps. These players are hungry to be here. They want to be Knights. They want to play junior hockey. They want to play in the NCDC, and they want to earn the right to develop and see their names, in our rafters as alumni who are committed to Division I, who are moved on to the USHL or wherever else it may be.
So in total, we are over 280 players. We had just under 70 goalies competing for the opportunity to play in the organization. And again, very, very happy with the talent of player pool as far as the compete level and the willingness and want to be at Wilkes-Barre Scranton Night this year.
So what we offer here at Revolution Ice is something that you're not going to find in many other buildings. From our two-sheet facility to having our own skill station in the back of the rink with several different machines that players can utilize throughout the day to better themselves. So you have 2 ice sessions per day. You get a workout in our state-of-the-art gym. Really what we say to players is the development and growth you get from our program is exactly what you put into it. If you come here and just do the basic 2-a-days with the workout, you're bound to get better. But we're taking players who want to take the extra step, and go the extra mile, and who want to be in the weight room an extra hour, who want to get back on the ice for an extra hour, who want to be in our skills station, all throughout the day, getting better, working harder. We also have 4, 5, 6, full-time coaches who are going to be working with these players each and every day, doing video, being on the ice. And it's one thing that we've found in this camp too is having all of our coaches on the bench interact with these players. They all feel like they're getting better already.
It's a lot of work shared amongst everyone. There's not a single person in the organization that their hard work doesn't go unnoticed. And because of that, we were able to have a lot of positive feedback earlier in the week. Campers from all over that have been to numerous camps across different leagues have, they've been raving about the compete level, the competition level, the organization that has come from this week at camp, as well as their ability to learn while they're here.
That was awesome. And again, thank you to Jody and Ray for inviting me out. It's always fun when we get to visit some of our NCDC programs, especially the nights. Got some coffee. The coffee was delicious, Dan, and I'm so excited for what Wilkes-Barre is putting together this season. You talk about investment, taking that money and pouring it back into the team. That's a great example of what this program's doing.
100%. I'm so excited my pinky toenail fell off during that video, Lucas. I don't know
if that's an excitement issue. That might be a medical concern.
I might have to go see a doctor. I don't think that's supposed to happen. It hurts like the Dickens. Charles Dickens, that is. But I'll tell you what, who's the Charles Dickens of hockey? Is that a good thing? Charles Dickens is great, right? He's not a problem now.
No, he's not a problem.
I
don't know if that's accurate, but sure.
Ray Welsh is. He's the Charles Dickens of hockey because he is always creating masterpieces on the ice. This guy puts together a team like no one's business. And when I watch Wilkes-Barre Scranton hockey, I say, thank you, sir. May I have another? I think Charles Dickens made Oliver Twist. Did he? Is that right?
Have you gone so long without opening a show that you have no idea how to lead a conversation?
I don't know how to do this anymore, right? I don't know how any of this stuff works, and I'm scared. But what I do know, in all honesty, jokes aside, these main camps around the country have been really fun to watch. Watching all of our teams, the 18 squads, 6 in the South Division, 6 in the North, and the 6 in the Mountain Division, getting ready for this 23-24 campaign. There's so much opportunity for young skaters around the country, especially as this Tier 2 NCDC product trends a bit younger, Lucas. And I got to imagine the main camp in Wilkes-Barre had a lot of young future hockey stars out there on the ice.
Yeah, they really did. We had there was a lot of 05s, 06s, even an 07, which is a little, it made me a little distraught at the time. You start talking about some of these really young birth years that are coming through, but that's what we're hearing from around the country. We just released a great podcast with Coach Toby Harris of the Jersey Hitmen NCDC program, who talked about going younger. The guys out west, they were all looking at young players. It's the 05, 06, 07 talent. I think as hockey continues to grow, that the talent pool is just going to get deeper at those young ages. And that's why the NCDC Tier 2 product has shifted in that direction.
You just said a year 2007 trying out to play Tier 2 tuition-free hockey. Let's make the people feel old. Fun facts about the year 2007, Lucas. In 2007, the Amazon Kindle was released for the first time. The Amazon Kindle was released when immediately was no longer useful. Anybody who bought one, I apologize. At least you weren't like me and bought a Zune. Next up.
I also bought a Zune, for the record.
Lucas, can you guess the #1 song nationwide in 2007.
I cannot.
I will tell you it's from the hip hop genre, and there is a dance with it.
I couldn't tell you.
What if I told you it was Crank That Soldier Boy by Soldier Boy Tell 'Em? Number one hit song, Crank That Soldier Boy in 2007. Again, playing Tier 2 tuition-free hockey, covered by the Dan K Show, two gentlemen born in 1927. And I don't think that Hoover was that bad, Lucas, okay? I
will give you a fun fact that I realized is that in 07, when these players were born, we were their current age. We were the 07s in 07, and now we are double the age of the hockey players we're covering. I don't know about that, Dan. Don't know how I feel about that.
Number one trending viral phrase was "I can has cheeseburger" with a picture of a cat. I can has
that was the birth of the meme. We were around for the birth of the meme. It was weird at first. It's weird now.
Notable books released in that year: Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I'm not sure what book that is. Gonna tell you. Never read any of them.
The sixth one?
Is it?
Maybe. That's my guess.
Let us know at home which one it was. But again, you talk about this kind of young infusion into the NCDC Tier 2 game here. And the reasoning behind it, the league's looking to create an avenue, not just for its older players to get to college or even its younger players to get to college right away, but to also provide avenues to the USHL and other top leagues around the world. It's a great opportunity to showcase your talent as a young player, Lucas, and to do it. We all know the investment that goes into the game of junior hockey, to have the opportunity to not only play Tier 2 tuition-free hockey, to not have to pay for it, but to play in places like Idaho Falls in front of 4,000 a night, to play in places like Pueblo where they're putting bulls on the ice, or Ogden or Utah where they're building this state-of-the-art facility in Park City, Utah. You're going to get to see that when we go on our Dan K Show barnstorming tour out west there with a lot of the folks. Kevin McCloskey has already promised us at least one dinner. He has said tentatively two.
Ooh.
Tentatively two dinners. So we might be getting 2 free dinners out of this here, Lucas. I'm pretty excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, getting to travel around the NCDC, getting to travel around the country covering hockey is great. Getting to do scoutcasts from different parts of the country this year is going to be awesome. You know, getting to interact with some of these players, these programs. And I always love when teams make a transition, right? The NCDC West going from the Premier and Elite Tier 3, or the Premier last year, Tier 3, up to the NCDC Tier 2. They're in for it. Everything we've heard is that it's a little bit of a jump, but those programs out west, they've got the talent behind the bench and on the ice to be able to make that jump.
Before we close this out, let's go to our way too early predictions, Lucas. This is something we've done in the Elite, the Premier, and the NCDC over the years since our establishment in 2015 with the Dan K Show, the most watched show in junior hockey. How many do you want to make, Lucas? How many do you feel comfortable making today?
Well, I forgot we were going to do this. So I have none that are prepared, and I'm stalling currently. So why don't you pick a number since it'll be unbiased?
Let's do one per division. How about that? There are
Okay.
3 divisions. Let's do one per division. And my first one is my loudest one. Tyler Holsky redemption year. This man was 1 win away from the Dineen Cup. I think Tyler Holsky, along with Stack and the rest of the squad that they're putting together in South Shore, wins the division, wins the matchup with the South to play the championship, and I think we are in Foxborough for the Dineen Cup finals, Lucas, between the Mountain Division champ and that South Shore King squad.
Well, for me, I've had a lot of talks with coaches this year, kind of outside the podcast, helping with some tech setups, helping with some other things. Naturally, we start talking about, the game of hockey. My way too early prediction is that the Twin City Thunder are going to be in the top 2 when the season finishes in that North Division. I would not be surprised if they make it to number 1, but I do also kind of feel that redemption year, that Holsky train is on the tracks and not stopping for anyone. But I think the Twin City Thunder are going to give them a real run for their money, and maybe they do get past them.
For those of you tracking, how long will it take Dan K to send his care package to Dan Hodge? He's owed him for 6 years.
Still here.
Still going, baby. Still right next to me at the desk. It has yet to leave the building. Dan Hodge texts me once a week, and I apologize profusely once a week as well. Number 2, Lucas, let's go to the South Division. The Hitmen are going to have an entirely new squad this year. I am going to predict, first of all, remember this prediction with this PAL team for Dan K. I once said Dino Manetta is going to put up a huge goal, and he did. That was my big one. I think PAL repeats as the regular season champ in the South, and I think that Heike Virtanen puts up 25 plus into the back of the net this year.
I mean, that's a pretty good prediction. And I like Virtanen. I like the overall package he brings to that team. And you can never go wrong, even though it is difficult, you can never go wrong taking a bit of a repeat there for PAL. I'm going to go slightly farther northeast, we'll say. And I'm going to go ahead and say the Connecticut Junior Rangers this year. Jim Henkel is set to prove, I think, what he can do on the recruiting trail. I think having Mike Stanaway in that program is going to be incredible for the program as a whole through all levels of the Connecticut Junior Rangers. And I think Jim Henkel is going to put it together this year. He's going to be the main opponent, I would say, to that PAL team doing a repeat. So let's give the Connecticut Junior Rangers the title in the South.
Let's go out to the mountain. I like that pick, Lucas, because you know why? My other way too early prediction for the South was going to be that Connecticut scores more goals than anybody else out east. That was going to be because of Mike Stanaway. That was one of 2. I went with PAL, gave you the Hanks. I'll throw in an extra one. I'll say Hanks. Hanks has the most goals scored in the entire East. That counts the North and the South divisions. Let's go out west. My predictions out west are there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but my number 1 prediction, the most watched show in junior hockey, will no longer be the Dan K Show. It will be the Dan K Show presents Law and Order, SPUD, the Spud Division, which will be playing on a Jumbotron near you in December. Once we figure out how to tape this thing together, Lucas, it is going to be absolutely captivating television for the folks in Potato King land.
I would say that my way too early prediction is that Law and Order Spud will exist. I cannot guarantee it will be good. I cannot guarantee it will be captivating. But the thing is, when an idea sticks around with the Dan K Show for long enough, we're always bouncing ideas, right? And the bad ones will fall away. We'll stop talking about them. But this has been going on for about 6 months now, this idea. And usually that's like the critical threshold. So we're going to give it a shot. We're gonna throw our filmmaker hats in the ring here, and you will get to experience it, it seems, whether you want to or not. My actual way too early prediction, I mean, Dan, you can tell me if this feels like a cop-out, but seeing the relative strength of the teams last year, I think affects the recruiting pitch. I think affects the recruiting class. The Utah Outliers, I got to imagine, are coming in as the number 1 projected team in that division.
Yep. I think that's correct. I love that prediction. I mean, that was my other guy there. I felt like I kind of went for already division champs, so I wanted to get a little creative with my third one. But Utah right now, they're going to be the team to beat. Like just watching it, what they're putting together kind of behind the scenes. Idaho Falls, I like that they added Brock Hart to that squad, a former Hudson Havoc guy. That's going to be one of their potentially a guy wearing a C. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. And you know, Marty Quarters knows a lot about the talent from the Wisconsin area there. That's going to be an interesting team to watch. But Utah, they seem, if you were to ask me, kind of like, you know, horses coming out of the stable at the Kentucky Derby to tell you who the favorites were, I tell you the chalk, those 1, 2, 3s. I'd say number 1's going to be Utah. Number 2 right now, I'd probably tell you is Ogden. And number 3 would be between that like Pueblo, Rock Springs area. I don't know what Rock's going to bring yet. You know they know how to put together a tier 2 level squad. I'd say Pueblo is probably your number 3. I think that's your 1, 2, 3 out of the gates. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's a brand new league. It's a brand new year out there, right? Like I know you have a lot of guys that they've been around, these teams have been playing for a long time, but these are some new rosters that are coming in, man. This is tier 2 hockey. This is a brand new build. It's almost like an expansion season for all 6 of those squads.
Yeah, you know, it really is going to be up for grabs. You are essentially starting from scratch, right? Because last year, some of these teams, they had more older players than younger players, right? There was a mix for sure. You saw a lot of great young talent out there, but you are making that transition and making the commitment to these younger players as well. So it is going to be a lot of pressure on the coaching staff, on the people in place that are there, not just the guys behind the bench, but really the entire support system of a tier 2 team is going to be fully involved in making these teams as competitive as possible.
It's like befriending a stray cat, you could say, Lucas, starting from scratch. It's a man who's befriended a few strays who have made their way into his home somehow here in Florida. It always starts from scratch.
It's truly impressive the way Dan K has a Dickensian control over the English language. Ooh. And then uses it to make jokes about stray cats. You could do so much more, and you choose not to.
And that's going to be on my headstone one day, Lucas. He could have done so much more, and he chose not to. The Dan K Show. Lucas, you're about to head to Italy. Let's get to the empty net here. We're going to do an empty net here segment with the NCDC this week, so you can reach out with hashtag NCDC empty net each week on X, as we call it. I think Vin Diesel named it, or Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can reach out with hashtag NCDC empty net. Your videos, your content, your clips, your comments, your jokes. You can razz us. Give a little razzle dazzle in there, man. Whatever you guys want to do, we want you to be a part of the show. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you each and every week here on NCDC this week. But the empty net this week, Lucas, you're going to Italy, going on a tour of Italy for a few days. I got to imagine you're going to Sicily. You're going to Sardinia, I think is a place. You're going to Parmigiano Reggiano, all the great places in Venice and all these spots. My question is this. Did you guys think to save the money and just take the tour of Italy that they offer at your local Olive Garden?
Thought about it for sure. But we actually have some unfortunate news. You know, we had to kind of move that Italy trip, Dan, because we got a decent chunk of money with the express purpose to travel around and go visit some hockey rinks. So the Italy trip, unfortunately, has to get moved until next summer. I will instead be spending the time traveling around the country, visiting hockey rinks, giving updates. So, you know, you're going to see me kind of getting around a little bit from September 1st to September 18th.
Be sure to tune in. Lucas will have some updates on site live from buildings throughout the USPHL, certainly not from Italy. He promised me he would not take that lump sum of money I have handed him and take it on vacation. Yep. Lucas, I'm excited for it. Your parting words for the first ever NCDC this week with the Dan K Show.
Super excited to definitely be at USPHL rinks and certainly not in Italy.
That's it. Dan K certainly won't be in Italy. I will be in Battle Creek, Michigan coming up. We've got a Dan K Show presented event with some great college teams, as well as the home opener for the Colonels taking on the Chicago Crush September 16th, live on Flow Hockey. Be sure to go get your Flow Sports sign up done right now. Go get that subscription. All USPHL games from henceforth. Hockey TV, moving those things over to Flow Hockey along with those two partnerships, right? Flow Hockey came in 2 years. Flow Sports came in, purchased Hockey TV a few years ago. So now they're putting everything on the Flow Hockey platform for you. Go to Flow Sports right now. Sign up for your subscription. If you have any questions on how to do it, you can go to flowsports.com and ask them for that assistance. So Dan K's on the mic, Lucas. Guess it's always hockey night. We got a lot of hockey to come. Tune in, Instagram Live. Go follow at NCDCJR Hockey right now on Instagram, X, Facebook, as well as anywhere else you can find NCDC Hockey. Dan K's on the mic. Always hockey night.
See a ton of that and a quick video with some interview content coming up now. All right.
It really hurts.
Hey. That was... Oh,
go ahead. I didn't know you were doing it. Just keep going. Right, this is part of the show.